What invention is so good that it actually can't be improved upon? P-trap, a simple elegant way to prevent odor from coming into your house via sink, toilet, etc. A lot of Asia still doesn't use this. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. Agreed. I've started calling it the kitchen stink. Plates. You can get the ones that don't smash. It's too good. Zooples. Holy shit. I haven't thought about those things in years. You've just awoken some long forgotten memories. Zooples. Oink. Oink zooples. Those bones they use for tanning leather. People have tried using all sorts of different materials, but bone always works best apparently. Yeah, if I remember it correctly from my college classes. Those weren't created by humans. Like, what? It was a tool created by H. erectus I believe. But it does predate anatomically modern humans. H. erectus boning. I'm just not mature enough for TH's conversation. I'm sorry. The XLR cable. Until they can beam something directly into your head, we kind of hit a dead end for perceived sound. The simplicity of what a cable can do by allowing both AC and DC power to flow through, so you can power and draw signal from a microphone. Plus the fact it's so simple to remove the noise you get from outside interference makes it even more genius. Phantom power. Spooky. To be honest, they improved the XLR cable by making those newfangled ones that take regular guitar cables and XLR. I know of the dual XLR/inch ports, but not of any cables that are themselves dual type, inch being the typical TS cable. Cast iron skillet est. 1707. Rapunzel has entered the chat. Who knew? Zipper. Best way to merge in traffic. Yes. It's meant to be a zipper you and $%. Learn to drive. Perhaps 2, maybe 3 times in my life. It has been my privilege to participate in a perfect multi-car zipper merge. Cars enter the highway. Both lanes look at each other and align. Then all at once, the cars on the right merge smoothly left, and exiting cars merge smoothly right. It was beautiful. I can't help imagining the future where all cars are self-driving and zipper merging in symphony while we are just laying back chilling. No more road rage. No more congested traffic. I'd say nail clippers. Rich and poor people all use the same thing to clip their nails. Rich people pay poor people to clip their nails for them. And those poor bastards use the same nail clipper the other poor bastards use. Paperclip. Last major patent was in the 1880s. Then how do you explain Clippy? That bastard can go to hell. He just wants to help you. Sure. So do the Borg. Rubber bands. They work. When I was a kid, rubber bands would last for years. Now most of them fail within a year or so because they removed the cocaine. I knew they smelled different. I don't do cocaine. I just like smelling it. The basic sewing needle. It really hasn't changed in thousands of years. There is no need for change. I'd argue that sewing machines are just advanced sewing needles. I still can't figure out how they work. I've seen animations and videos of the mechanics, but my brain refuses to process it, and it looks so simple. Almost too simple. Most professional classical music instruments are already in their final stage like piano and violin. I would argue that there have been innovations there. Someone added pickups and small speakers to a piano, so players could better hear their own playing. The electric violin. The keyboard. Woodwind instruments on the other hand. Oh, how I live for the day that synthetic reeds actually replace cane Ligier is really close. But Van Doren still has them beat. Especially on playing feel. Only played back in high school years ago, so not super knowledgeable on the matter. What is the benefit of synthetic reeds surpassing cane ones? They're a lot less fragile, less likely to split during a concert or when you need them, and for pit musicians/musicians who are switching between different instruments constantly it helps, because you don't need to re-wet the reeds when they've been sitting for a bit. The pocket. Girls' pants have entered the chat edit. The number of upvotes on this silly comment really speaks for itself. Seriously. Don't know why you guys are denied the convenience of pockets so often. Pocket real estate is a critical decision in my pants buying. If I get a pair of pants with less than 3 pockets, it's absolutely infuriating. FR. Fake pockets or shallow pockets that even a chapstick digs into your guts if you sit and is obviously outlined when standing. I have a theory that this is, in part, why high-waisted mom jeans have been in style for a while now. Cell phones now are teeny tiny supercomputers, but they are huge affronts. They are also now integral in our personal and professional lives. We need real pockets. I want to be able to fit something more than most of my 4 fingers. That's what she said. Literally, I need it. Close bracket. Meanwhile, I just bought some cargo shorts today that have 12 goddamn pockets. I didn't even find the last 2 until after I got them home. I foresee forgetting to empty them all and sending some unfortunate items through the wash. The spoon is a pretty incredible invention. It can often sub as a fork or a knife, and it has a great name. Those special self-stabilizing spoons to help people with hand tremors feed themselves are pretty cool. Over-engineered for most people, but I'm happy they exist. I should make a self-stabilizing soldering iron. I have a moderate tremor and I can do most things, but I can't fucking solder. And I'm an electrical engineer. But how do you make one without soldering? Serious reply to a great question. You try a frustrating number of times. It's usually easier to clean up a botched solder than to get it right in one go. A knife. It can anything. Soup. Poop. I wonder how many new redditors have no idea about poop knife. Here we go again. The toilet S-bend. We would still be throwing our Hershey soldiers out the window without it. Invented in 1775 and still used today. It was actually improved on. Used to be an actual S-bend, but those would evaporate or could get kinda slurped out by another drain further down. So they made the U-bend. It has a vent pipe running up so that another toilet or sink or whatever on the same drain pipe could not siphon off the trap where the water sits. The low point of the toilet, after the trap gets below a certain level, sewer gas, hydrogen sulfide gets in and makes the room smell like shit. It's been about 4 years since my plumbing class, but it was pretty memorable. A fun anecdote. One of the contributors to the rapid spread of SARS in an apartment block was dry traps. Investigators discovered that many bathrooms had floor drains whose traps were dry. This allowed aerosolized virus from a sick individual's feces to spread throughout the apartment complex via the plumbing system. I remember in the dorms the drains had dried. Every time I was in the bathroom and someone flushed upstairs, it would stink up the place. Ended up waving down one of the maintenance guys to pour water into them. Look at the fancy college boy. Couldn't figure out how to pour water into a toilet without help. Pizza. You can change it up. You can ruin it. And you can fold it half like a crazy calzone munching madman. But you can't beat perfection. The calzones betrayed me. It's about the cones. Always has been. Baba Booey. That mini trident you use to scratch your back, man, that's the best invention of human race. IDK man, the lightsaber under my mom's bed was really nice when I used it as a back massager. Hol up. The brick. It has been made of mud. Then mud with straw, then mud with clay, then finally with clay alone. That is as far as progress has taken the brick in the, guess, 8,000 years since it was invented, and it is still in use today. Someone, lost in the obscurity of ancient history, realized that you couldn't build really strong stone structures with irregularly shaped small natural stones, and hewing huge lumps of stone into regular shapes was just ridiculously hard work. That person also observed that mud that fell into a fire was left hardened when the fire died down. So they figured that if you shaped mud into regular shapes, big enough to carry one in each hand, you would have all the advantages of small irregular stones and large geometrically carved stones, but with none of the drawbacks of either. This thought must have taken a second to dawn on the inventor. The practical work to prove the concept must have taken a weekend, at most. Perhaps a week or two to get the shape just right. And here we are, thousands of years later, and the damn thing has barely changed at all. The hollow concrete block is a major improvement. It's way more widely used around the world, and rubber is important, too. The steam turbine. It is such a useful way to convert heat into electricity, that it would not be surprising to see one strapped to a fusion reactor if one ever get built. They're already strapped to fission reactors. That's pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, the steam turbine inventor was way ahead of his time. He really was a visionary. I see what you did there. The Schrader valve used to inflate your bicycle tires, car tires, tractor tires, etc. was patented in 1893. It is still used in virtually every tire on the planet. And now you know its name. Jesus Christ. Mary. Their tires. His name is Hank. My name is a sack Schrader. And you can go F yourself. Such a badass line. The soda can. The physics behind it have been perfected. There is a cool YouTube video about it. Thanks bro. You too. I'm glad you two linked up for this comment thread.